Geoff, thanks for joining us. Can you start by explaining the difference between the civil proceedings that were dismissed and the criminal charges?
The civil proceedings were brought by Nalcor, the project developer, and it was a civil contempt application they brought, and that is the application we opposed ultimately successfully in the Court of Appeal, and that was dismissed. While all of that was unfolding, and you have to remember, of course, these charges date back to October of 2016. In the spring of 2017, the police, the Crown, laid criminal charges against Mr. Brake and many other people. And the charge that we're still talking about was a mischief charge. Essentially, the theory was that Nalcor suffered losses because the protesters and Mr. Brake entered the premises.
Both charges were based on the same case. Why would the Crown want to proceed with the criminal charges given the other one was dismissed?
The quick answer might be you'd have to ask them, but obviously since I'm the one talking, I'd have to say it's a bit of a mystery to me. I don't see how the public interest is served by proceeding with these charges, and I am very confused as to, given the factual findings of the Court of Appeal, how they intend to prove these charges.
So what arguments will you be making in the charter challenge?
We have argued that since the Court of Appeal has already found that Mr. Brake was not a protester or a land protector, was not there for those purposes, but was rather a journalist simply covering a story, as you are covering this story, that none of the elements of the contempt charge could be made out. We believe that given that that reasoning has already, those decisions have already been made by the Court of Appeal, those findings, that they would be binding on other courts, and that therefore to proceed in this fashion is an abuse process, an abuse of Mr. Brake's charter rights.
So Geoff, what's next? When will you be back in court?
As it stands now, we are back in court in October, or rather early November, to argue this application. A half a day is set, and we'll be arguing it in Happy Valley Goose Bay. If our application is successful, that would be the end of the matter.
Well, Geoff, we'll obviously be watching closely here. Appreciate you taking some time for us today.
Thank you very much.